Ms. Reeves?
Here.
Mr. Frank? Here. Mr. Yanuzzi?
Here.
Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Mr. Gross?
Here.
Mr. Siga? Here. President Stewart?
Here. Pastor Charlie, will you lead us in prayer this evening and then followed by the Pledge of Allegiance? If it all rise.
Lord, we ask your blessing on all those gathered here. We thank you for the leadership our council provides us. We thank you for this community and the way it comes together in times of crisis. We ask that you pour out now your spirits of wisdom and judgment, mercy and compassion on all of our leaders. We ask that you pour out your spirit of unity and community on those gathered here. Let a spirit of charity be on our hearts, our minds, and our tongues as our council discusses, deliberates, and decides this evening. Amen.
Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council met in executive session this evening at 6 o'clock. The following topics were discussed during our executive meeting. First, we reviewed the employment agreement for the borough manager. Our solicitor provided a status update on the police contract, as well as an update on the litigation with the EMTs. And council had a brief discussion about committee assignments and starting to put together the calendar for all of our committee meetings in 2020. For those who were not in attendance last Monday when we reorganized, council took action at the last meeting to open or reopen the 2020 budget, and we have scheduled 2 meetings. Next Monday, the 20th at 7 p.m. here in Borough Hall will be budget hearing number 1. And then again, the following Monday, the 27th of January at 7 o'clock here in Borough Hall will be budget meeting number 2. We have no presentations this evening, and this being a new year, no updates on previous items or new business items. So at this time, I'll ask Ms. Catania to provide the engineer's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. You do have a copy of my report. I wanted to advise that the applications for the Community Development Block Grant Funding Year 2020 were submitted to the Office of Housing and Community Development. I have some information with regard to the grant, the Greenways grant that was approved for funding, partially funded, I should say. And the Planning Department in Delaware County is requesting attendance at a kickoff meeting at the end of January. That has to be attended by an official other than myself. Has to be someone from council that would act on behalf of council to just have a review of what they're going to be expecting as part of that grant application. I have no further information with Dunkin' Donuts. The Alliance property, we received a set of plans that were noted as revised preliminary final. We advised the applicant that they are now into a final submission stage, so they will have to provide that application packet. If you recall, we had given a approval at meeting last month, and they should be resubmitting those plans in accordance with that approval. I haven't heard anything from them yet. Industrial Highway LLC is looking for a meeting to be set with regard to their land development, and otherwise I can just report general progress.
Council, any questions or comments regarding the engineer's report? Lisa, what was the date that you needed to have somebody from the borough represented for the?
It's a week long. I believe it's the 21st have a letter with me. Letter came here.
Go ahead, Lisa, if that's okay.
I'm sorry?
I'd attend that with you, if that's okay.
What was it for?
It's for the Greenways project. That's only partially funded. We'll have to find additional monies for that project.
And where's that meeting at?
It's at the planning department.
So it's local.
Yeah, it's immediate.
Okay. Councilwoman Gross, you have no problem?
No problem.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your service.
I'll set that up.
Public forum, Mandy Hall and Ashley Evans.
Good evening.
Hey, good evening, Mandy. And before you start, I just want to, on behalf of council, thank you for your efforts. Unfortunately, over the weekend, the borough experienced a house fire. Thankfully, due to the quick actions of Councilor Reeves, the families that were in the building, even though it was during the late hours of the night, everybody was awakened and everybody was brought out to safety. So certainly we, appreciate the quick thinking of Ms. Hall. We certainly appreciate you and the folks that have helped you in spearheading the effort
Yes,
of,
I've had
getting some relief to the families that have been displaced. I happened to see some pictures on Facebook of tables and tables and tables of things that were, at the VFW. So certainly we thank you for, coming together when the community needed us to come together.
It's our pleasure.
So the floor is yours. I'm sorry.
That's actually why we're here tonight. There was 2 families that were displaced. First, we'd like to thank everyone that has contributed. We've had a huge outpour from the community, and I love to see it. Thank you so much. The reason why we're here is the VFW has been so kind to let us go through the donations and store them there temporarily, but they need to be moved by Wednesday. The families are still displaced and do not see an end in sight at the moment of where they're going to be, so they don't have room to store these donations that were so generously given to them. So we're here to ask council to help in that effect, that maybe you have a place in the borough that we could move the items to keep until the family has a place to put them.
Put them in the cloakroom, get them the firehouse.
That's a great suggestion, but we need council to okay it.
Mandy, Eddystone United Methodist Church can make a space for you.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you. Very nice, thank you.
Again, the community coming
Yeah.
to aid.
I have 2 checks from the Ladies Auxiliary for each family, $500 each.
$200 to each family. We've had a lot of donations as well as clothing and items and toys, things we didn't even think of, toiletries for the family. People really stepped up to the plate, and we just want to thank everyone for that. A lot of people are asking what they still need at this point because we are limited on space, and they do have a lot of what they need, especially for the baby. There was a huge outpour for the baby because I think everybody's heart goes out to the babies. But we, if anyone, has the opportunity to do gift cards or, would like to do something monetary or, I know a lot of people are asking for furniture. They don't have the space for it at this time. If it's something that you can hold on to, we will reach out to you once they get settled, with what their needs are. So, and thank you again.
Mandy, question.
Sure.
Well, since you're talking to these women now,
Yes.
what would you suggest would be the best avenue to do it? Give them a gift card from Walmart's,
Well,
Market for Food?
some people were doing Visa gift cards because they can use
Okay.
them anywhere, which
Okay.
is a great thing. I don't know if they're allowed to use that for the hotel time. Unfortunately, I know last night was the last night at the hotel for the one family.
Okay.
The other family is staying with family, so they're okay at this time.
Actually,
It's just-
Joanne got an extra night.
She did get an extra night. Well, that's only for tonight though.
Right.
So, there was some cash donations that I had given her yesterday,
Okay.
but I mean,
That should be good.
cash, checks,
Okay.
written to the family if
They're
you need
also
the
going to get
names.
help from the Eddystone Youth Foundation.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Heather reached out to me today.
Awesome.
And I
And
sent
then,
the
like I said,
information
gift
on.
cards either to ShopRite or Walmart or even a
Okay.
Visa gift card that they can use for anything,
Right.
is great. We did have, when people stepped up to the plate, when we said we needed school uniforms for the kid and what size, Stan ran down with some sweatpants for the other kid and some school shirts for the other child. So we're spreading it out through the families, and they're so grateful. They really are, and it warms my heart to be able to help them, and it does us all a little good to come together and hopefully maybe help us heal as a community a little.
Thanks, Ashley.
In reference to this, I just wanna thank Mandy, Bill Bolton, Beth, Stanley,
Kelly and Ed, they
Kelly
stepped
and
up to
Ed.
the
Kelly
plate,
and
ran
Ed
out that night and bought a piece of
ran
diapers,
to
and
ShopRite to
snacks,
make sure
and
that the baby
a
and the
gift
little
card,
boy had
and
food
yeah,
and drinks and whatnot.
Yes, they did.
They were all there and
Tremendous.
came together, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Kelly and I came up here after
Me and Mandy,
Mandy and I came up here so that the
they weren't here by themselves, and they had some.
Red Cross could do all their paperwork and
We
whatnot.
didn't sleep that night.
We didn't sleep that night.
I'm still trying to catch up.
We also went down and
You
bought
guys
coffee and
brought coffee
donuts
down.
and bagels for them too.
Yes, thank you, and we appreciate that. And the community
Everything,
was
some
great.
people have come up to me and said, I don't have much to give, and that's what the community coming together is about, because all our little bit adds up to a lot, and as you see, we've gotten a lot, so thank you, everyone deserves a round of applause.
They did say that they wanna stay in the borough.
They wanna stay in the borough, yes, so they're
Yeah.
looking
Joanne told
for a
me-
place to stay, they need at least 2 bedrooms, so if anyone knows, reach out to me or the
Joanne
families
told me
if you know.
yesterday that she has never ever felt so much at home as what she does.
Every time she hugs me, she has tears in her eyes, and she just says, I can't thank you enough, so. And I keep telling her that this is what we're here for, and it makes everybody feel good to do good, and so for them to please voice any
Also
needs
tell
that
them,
they
Mandy,
have.
not to be shy. and
That's what I
reach
said,
out.
and to voice
Don't be-
anything you need. I said, people wanna help, so let us help, so whatever you need, tell me, and I'll tell them.
Don't be
And-
shy to reach out to their landlord
Right,
too,
we had-
and ask him for a
Yeah,
place to
she said
stay.
she hasn't spoken to him since the day after the fire, though, so we'll see. But, yeah, so even like yesterday, we had a toy, and we didn't know we had, needed batteries for said toy, and, when I went to give it to her, I'm like, oh, there's no batteries, look, so she decided to leave it, and there was a customer in the VFW said, what do you need, batteries? I got 12 pack at home. Brought it in, sent me a message today, it's on the box with the toy, so I can't thank everyone enough for stepping up and just jumping in where they're needed.
Yeah,
It's-
thank you,
it's a
thank
great
you.
deal.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you.
Also, JC and Paula, I'd like to thank you,
Yes,
they've been helping.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Charlie.
I did speak with the landlord of the property this morning, and he, has assured me that he's making every effort possible to get a place, for these individuals if they wanna continue to rent through him, so he too is working very hard to make sure that they get back into a home
Good.
as soon as possible. Any other public forum? If you wanted to come forward and put your name on the board, please.
Sorry.
No worries.
I just wanted to discuss the Lighthouse Hall and what are we doing about the heater and everything, so we can continue to have activities there.
Mr. Vicente, I think that you had gotten a,
I got
or you're working on a
I got
quotation.
notice on Friday, and Sweeney went out on Friday.
Have you done a diagnosis or anything?
Not yet, he's supposed to get back to me today, and he didn't, I had to call him, so
Okay.
hopefully by tomorrow.
Okay, because I wanted to bring this up anyway, but in the light of that, it put a hold on what I was trying to do. I wanted to bring up, because ABA's been doing holding their basketballs there, they're there Saturday from 9 to 9, actually 7:30 to 9. Sundays, it varies, but 9 to 3-ish, and they do practice all throughout the week. So we were talking about opening up the snack bar and everything, but one of the problems is the refrigerator. Their commercial refrigerator is done. I don't know that for a fact, but I just figured if it was just a shot of Freon or something, or just a minor repair, it would have been done by now. So I'm gonna try to maybe get a new refrigerator. Mike Nemolji from the ADA said that he will donate some money towards it. But that was, the last time I spoke to him was last Tuesday.
Right.
Everything happened with the heater on Wednesday. So so that's kind of at a standstill right now, but I also, as soon as that gets fixed, I wanna start opening up the snack bar and make money towards rec, because we are receiving a lot of money from Ridley's ADA.
Okay.
They donated money for the toy drive, Other things, I can't even think off the top of my head, I didn't even prepare notes or anything, because I wasn't sure if I was even gonna bring it up, but I just decided to bring it up. So,
Well, fortunately, Mother Nature's been on our side. We've been
Yes.
seasonably warm
Yes.
for the month of January. We'll cross our fingers and hope that the cold miser doesn't bring us any snow. Mike is on top of the heater. And Mr. Wilson, if I could ask you as the chair of the facilities maintenance committee to take a look into the commercial refrigerator that is located in Lighthouse Hall's mini kitchen.
yeah, we may not need one that large, maybe half the size of that. But we do, if we're gonna open up the snack bar, we do need something to keep water, Gatorade, sodas in. We do have a regular, like, residential refrigerator in there, but it's not, it's, you know, it's the one that's in your kitchen, it's
I think you're
probably
referring to the sliding fridge, right?
Yes,
The ones with
yes, the
sliding
commercial
doors.
one, yeah. And we need to keep it cold, it's, you know, it has to stay in there, at least, you know, for a few hours to get cold and stay cold. So, and that'll help, you know, bring in money to put towards the rec and the building and everything else.
Amy, would you mind meeting me over there? and
When?
Taking a look at it, mainly because I don't have a key to the building.
Okay, when would you like to meet?
What would be convenient for you?
Tomorrow's Tuesday, I can meet tomorrow at 9 AM.
Okay,
Okay.
Tuesday 9 AM.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ian.
And Mike and Mark, just something moving forward, since, you know, we've got the public forum. What I'd like to do is when we've got a member of the residents that wants to come up and have a problem, or an issue that they wanna share in front of council, when council makes a commitment to take action, what I'd like to do is to kind of make sure that we're keeping that in the meeting minutes, to, you know, make sure that everybody's staying accountable, so that, you know, I won't promise you that the refrigerator will be fixed next week, but, you know, certainly, you know, I'd like to report in the very near future that we were able to repair or replace the refrigerator in the mini kitchen at Lighthouse. Any other public forum before we move to action items? Mr. Presente, can you give me the treasurer's report for the month of December 2019, please?
Treasury report for the month of December 2019. The balance in general fund in Sharon Bank is $134,769.28. The sewer fund and beneficial bank is $113,131.01. The liquid fuel fund and beneficial bank is $117,622.23. And the beautification fund in Sharon Bank was $1,237.43, giving you a total of $366,759.95.
Council, you've heard the treasurer's report for December 2019. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Can I ask you a question first?
Let me have a motion.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report for December 2019.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
I will have a second. I'll recognize Mr. Yanussi for the second. At this time, I'll open up to council. Do you have any questions or comments regarding the treasurer's report?
I was just wondering, when we see this budget here, is that the 2019 budget?
Yes.
Okay, that's the, because I've gotten a couple of, you know, Joe has put out some things where some of these numbers are not quite the same. And I may not understand that, but for example, with some of the salaries, they're 4% off. The most recent thing I got from Joe are showing the salaries being 4% higher than what I'm seeing. Is there a reason for that?
No, because you're finalizing the last month, the last
December,
budget.
I'm not-
December 2019.
I'm not talking about what was paid, I'm talking about the budget.
That's what was budgeted in 2019.
Okay,
So that's the budget versus actual, so January through December of 2019, and that was the budget numbers for 19. So next month, you'll see 2020 budget numbers on that, the right side.
well, because I asked Joe Pizzenti, the treasurer, for some analysis, and he sent me some numbers, and they don't match the numbers that I'm seeing in the budget column here. So I'm just trying to find out whether on salaries, do they, you know, it's possible that what Joe sent me was including like PICA or Medicare or something like that.
I think when Mr. Presenti's here for the budget hearings, we could probably ask him the question then.
Yeah.
Joe's gonna make himself available for
Yeah.
at least one, if not both, of the
Yeah.
budget meetings next week.
I'm just
correct?
trying to nail down what the 2019 budget was. Maybe you can get me a copy of the 2019 budget aside from this, because the numbers I'm getting are, I'll talk to you afterwards.
Yeah.
Counselors, just another thing to expect, moving forward. Mike has put out an email to, those who are responsible for submitting reports on a monthly basis. And, his request is to actually have those reports submitted a Monday prior to our regular council meeting. So those reports theoretically would be available for council's review at the workshop meeting. So, this treasurer's report that you see in front of you, I would expect this to be in our package
So we have
the first Monday of February. So we basically have a week to review it, so that we're not asking for you to make an approval within minutes after you actually see the package. Not saying that we're gonna get it all the time, but every effort's going to be made to get these types of reports submitted for the workshop meeting. Any other questions about the treasurer's report? I have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Cash receipts and disbursements journal.
Make a motion that all bills be paid and all cash deposited. Second.
I have a motion by Counselor Reeves and a second by Counselor Gross. Council, before we call for action, is there any questions or comments about the cash receipts and disbursements journal? Not hearing any. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Vicente, code enforcement report for December? You did not receive a code report for December. We'll table that until next month. Chief Macheski,
Police
the
report.
police report for the month of December 2019, please.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Police report for December 2019, 341 calls for a total of 4329, 76 citations for a total of 792, 10 accidents for a total of 121, 15 thefts for a total of 170, 27 parking tickets for a total of 424, 20 criminal arrests for a total of 284.
Council, you've heard the police report for December 2019. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the police report for the month of December 2019 as presented by Chief Macheski.
I have a motion by Mr. Sprague. I'll call for a second, please. Second by Ms. Gross. Council, before I ask for any action, is there any questions of Chief Macheski regarding the report for December 2019 for the police department? Not hearing any questions. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Fire report. I don't see a representative from the fire company. Mr. Vicente, would you deliver the fire report on behalf of Andrew Walsh?
December 2019 fire EMS report. Assist EMS 1, assist police 1, automatic fire alarms 1, CO alarm 2, cover up 1, industrial rescue 1, investigation 1, motor vehicle accident 2, special assignment 1, wires 1, assist Chester 1, assist Folsom 1, assist Marcus Hook 1, assist Ridley Park 2, total alarms 17, day 7, night 10, total members responded 76, average of 4.5 persons per call. EMS had a total of 32 calls between the hours of 0800 to 1800 hours. They had 21 calls. Transported 6, canceled 2, QRS 7, handled by other 6, no staff. Between the hours of 1800 to 0800, 10 calls, 1 QRS, handled by other department 10. You want to read the 2019, the year reports, or?
Yeah, I see the 2019 year-end reports. In lieu of going through all the individuals, why don't we just do total alarms and total EMS?
Okay. So for 2019 fire report for the year, total alarms was 221. The day was 112, by night was 109. Total members responded of 900, averaging 4 persons per call. And then the year-end EMS report for 2019, they had a total of 417 calls.
Council, at this time, I entertain a motion to approve the fire report for the month of December 2019.
I'll make a motion to approve the fire report for December 2019.
Have a motion by Counselor Wilson, a second by Ms. Gross. Council, any questions or comments prior to the call for action?
I noticed that on the one report it says 6 were no staff, meaning that there was no insufficient staffing of the EMT of the ambulance.
Actually, we had QRS, but that's also a strike.
When it says no staff, what do you think that means, Karen?
That means you had nobody in the station to answer the bell when the bell went off.
Does that mean you don't have 2 people
That
for the
means
ambulance?
you have 0 people.
If you have 0 people, or on your QRS, you also had 7 scratches, which means you only have 1 person.
Mhm. So
And on
when there's 1 person, that means the ambulance can't go out, right?
That's when the QRS goes out, that's correct.
Yeah, so we had 78 times when the QRS went out? Does that mean there were 78 times that the ambulance would have gone out otherwise, or? We
You're
don't
looking
know.
at the year-end report?
Yeah, I'm looking at the year-end report.
I would agree with that assumption, yes.
I'm also seeing calls handled by another agency, 208 calls handled by outside agencies. That seems like a lot.
Almost 50%.
Right.
Any other questions? Not hearing any other questions or comments at this time, council, I'll take action on approving the fire report for December 2019. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Council, at this time, I will ask for approval of the meeting minutes for our regular meeting of December 2019, which was held December 9th, 2019 at 7 o'clock.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for December 9th, 2019. Second.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Reeves, a second by Councilwoman Gross. Council, is there any questions or comments about the meeting minutes before I call for action? Not hearing any, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. This time, council, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes for the biennial organizational meeting, which was held on the 6th of January, 2020.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for the biennial organization meeting 1/6/2020.
Second. I have a motion by Councilor Sprague, a second by Vice President Yannuzi. Council, any questions prior to the call for action? Not hearing any questions or comments, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
I don't see it on the agenda, maybe I'm missing it, no, never mind, it's there, go ahead. Sorry.
You have a December 30th
December
meeting.
30th.
Yeah, December, you have to make a motion on December.
Oh, did I skip it?
You skipped
I
that?
skipped it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that's why I've got you sitting to my left. Let's move up very quickly. Council, I have a motion, or I'll entertain a motion to approve the budget meeting of December 2019, which was held on December 30th, 2019. I'll entertain a motion, please.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for the December 2019 budget meeting held December 30th, 2019.
I have a motion by Mr. Sprague. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Gross. Council, any questions or comments before taking action on approval of the budget meeting? Not hearing any, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Did I forget anything else before we go to the last motion, Mr. Wilson?
Not that I know.
Council, at this time, you've had an opportunity in executive session to review the employment agreement. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the employment agreement between Eddystone Borough and our Ms. Dawn Jones.
I make a motion to approve the employment agreement between Eddystone Borough and Dawn Jones.
I have a motion on the table. May I have a second, please?
Second.
You said it louder. I'll recognize the motion from Councilman Wilson and a second by Councilman Sprague. Council, any questions or comments before I call for action? Not hearing any questions or comments. Mr. Presente, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Reeves,
No.
Mr. Sprague,
Aye.
Mr. Yannuzi,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
No.
Mr. Signa? No. President Stewart?
Aye.
Motion 4-3.
Motion carries 4-3. Mayor, if you would do the honor of swearing in our new borough manager, Ms. Jones?
Doable question for swearing. Is she bonded?
She will be.
We'll leave it with the same employment agreement.
He takes office on January 27th.
That is correct. Thank you for the clarification. Mr. Mayor?
You want the way to hold the Bible, please?
Sure,
Yeah, sure. Get your hubby up there.
Raise your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I do solemnly swear, I do say your name,
I, Dawn Jones, do solemnly swear
I will support,
I will support,
obey, and defend
obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the Constitution of the United States and Pennsylvania, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and I will discharge the duties
and I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of my office with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Very much looking forward.
Peter?
That'll be different.
Here.
This will be the same, it's the same.
Secret meeting.
Well,
Big
the
brother's
question,
gonna become
the
big.
question that was being discussed at sidebar was the council took action on the 6th of January to appoint Mr. Wiley to the vacancy board, and whether or not the oath of office that was administered by the mayor was the correct oath of office. I believe that the correct oath of office has been administered to Mr. Wiley. You know, we have it as part of the public record that Mr. Wiley was appointed to the vacancy board. It is in the meeting minutes. We'll make sure that Mr. Wiley's oath of office is fully signed and attested to by a witness and sealed and delivered. And I believe that would satisfy the concerns that Councilman Wilson
As long as
had.
there aren't any questions about it.
Council, any other action items that need to be taken in front of the board this evening? Not hearing any other action items, I'll call for a motion to adjourn, please.
I have a couple questions first. Mandy, I wanted to ask Mr.
Amuso.
Amuso, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
We haven't received that, like, we, three of us haven't received anything. Do you have a copy of an executed agreement letter from the council for your services?
No, I mean, I was appointed at the last meeting as your solicitor.
I mean, we don't even know what your hourly rates are. Do we know, can you tell us what your hourly rates are?
Sure, I mean, we talked to just, Mr. Stewart about it, just doing a flat, I think your budget last year was 60,000 for legal fees, we're just doing a flat 5,000 a month.
They accepted it at the same rate that you put in the budget for 2020. That's what they're being paid.
Okay, are you charging mileage for your mileage?
No.
No? Okay. Some people, and have you done a conflict check?
Yeah, we have no conflict representing the borough.
You've never represented anybody on this board?
No.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I guess our newly hired, code enforcement isn't here this evening?
No.
And what is his rate?
What is his rate?
Yes.
I believe that Mr. Amuso was reviewing their proposal. He had some comments.
I did, I believe their rate was $85 an hour, and we had some additions to it. I can work with him to get that finalized well in time for any.
And will he be
next
getting a
work.
percentage of what he collects as well?
I'll look at the agreement again, I mean, it was $85 an hour, I don't know if there's any percentage for collections. It's code enforcement, right?
You can do it one of either way. You can either have a schedule of fees that, are.
That's what I wanna see, I wanna see a schedule of his fees.
Well, I'd like to see one too. I've been here for 10 years, I haven't seen one. So you
lived here
either
for
have a
10 years.
schedule, huh?
You've lived here for 10 years, correct?
I've lived here for 11 years, okay? I know, I
So
don't
then you're
count.
not a true stoner.
Oh, come on, really, come on.
Mr. Wilson,
Yeah, really, Judy.
Mr. Wilson, if I may, you know, with the appointment of the new code enforcement officer, obviously they're walking into, you know, a lot of unknowns. So in order to make the appointment of the BCO, we agreed at $85 per hour for them to supply a BCO. However, this agency, with all of the other municipal work that they do throughout the state of Pennsylvania, they have worked with other municipalities to look at what their fee schedule is. They have a lot of experience in knowing what appropriate fees there are to be requesting. And as the weeks and months go on, we will be working with that agency to potentially change our fee schedule. And we may, at the pleasure of council, amend just a flat rate of $85 to provide some type of percentage to where they would take a percentage of the permit and the borough would take a percentage of the permit. These at this time are all unknowns.
I'm sure it'll be more than what we were paying our code enforcement.
Yeah, but it'll be good to have them here when the state comes in.
Yeah, right now, they have so much experience in Delaware County, they said they were in Radnor, they did one job.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something, Karen. I specifically sought somebody from outside of Delaware County who would have no connection with anybody on council whatsoever and would not be part of anyone's political machine whatsoever.
And again, I remind all of council that, you know, when we appoint professional services, these professional services all serve at the borough of the pleasure of council. So, you know, at any point in time, if we're not satisfied with the professional services that we're receiving, you know, we certainly will make whatever efforts we need to make to rectify the situation. But, you know, hey, at any point in time, we're not obligated to keep anybody around, so.
And you are familiar with the firm, correct?
Am I familiar with the firm?
Yes.
I am not personally familiar with the individual who will be here as the BCO. However, my connection with the industry of construction management, construction inspection, yes, I've heard of the firm before, and I know that the firm has an impeccable reputation.
But you've never dealt with them personally?
Not personally.
You wouldn't want him to have dealt with them personally, would you?
Has anybody done a better bid? See how they are. I'm curious.
I don't know, have you?
No, I don't know these people.
Well, we appointed them last week. He was sitting here.
I am, and I will speak up. Just so everyone is aware, I know Barry Isett very personally. I was on Barry's board when Barry was president of the Pennsylvania Society of Professional Engineers. He was immediate past president when I was president of the Pennsylvania Society of Professional Engineers. They are a very ethical
Good to know.
Company. I have done work with them. They have done electrical and mechanical work for us as a sub-consultant. And that's about all I can tell you about Barry Isett and Associates. They're a large firm. Their main office is up in Perkionville. I've been there several times. And I know Barry and Shirley are still around, so if we have a problem, I certainly know where I can contact somebody, need be. That's the best I can tell you.
Thank you.
But
I
am
got some
aware.
information, thank you.
I am aware of the company. I've known Barry and Shirley since 1990.
Okay.
So it's been quite a while.
Very good, thank you.
And it is Isett, it is not Islet that everyone has been, his name is Isett, I-S-S-E-T-T, okay?
Thank you.
Anything else anybody wants? That's the best I can tell you.
That's great.
I don't know, I know that he does a lot of work up in Dorney Park, they're doing movement rides and things, so.
They're gonna follow up on all open things that John Lyman's left open.
Excuse me?
Yes, John
They're gonna
Lyman left a
follow up
lot
on
of things
everything that
open.
John Lyman's left open.
I'm assuming that the conversation that I had with Mr. Lyman, had asked me whether or not he should be expecting payment for his January stipend, and my comment to Mr. Lyman was that if you would like to stay until the end of January, that is more than acceptable to the borough, and that, you know, as a professional courtesy to the incoming folks, if he would take the time to sit with them and do some type of transition so that he knows what irons are in the fire that he will not be able to complete by the end of January, that would be greatly appreciated. I know that Mr. Vicente has scheduled a meeting this coming Thursday, the 16th, and that Mr. Lyman is scheduled to be in attendance to that meeting along with Barry Isaac.
Bear in mind, Barry Isaac is the owner of the company. The company's name is Barry Isaac.
Yes,
The gentleman who was in here who gave us a presentation last time was named Matthew McCluskey, and he is one of their managers that handles this type of work. And yeah, they're in a lot of towns.
And have you satisfied everything that you needed to satisfy with Mr. Lyman before he's going out?
I'm sure that Mr. Lyman and I will have conversations.
Okay, those are, you know, a lot there. You'd like to make sure it gets taken care of.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that Mr. Lyman has complete records and we can just pick up where he left off.
Council, I entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
I got a question.
Oh, question.
I wanna know who on council's running rec, so I can give, rec people the information, so they stop calling my wife.
Who's your wife?
Sally Buckets, you know, she is, really.
Oh, okay. Well, my understanding was that,
Who's afraid of it?
That's a simple question, I
know.
pass the information on to.
I believe it's Mr. Yu.
Yeah, I'll be the guy.
Okay, so can I get a card number for you after the meeting? Alright, thank you.
Yeah, just to, you know, just to clarify, recreation is a citizens committee. It's not a council committee, it's a citizens committee. You know, certainly Mr. Yanuzzi, if he so chooses to be part of that citizens committee, he certainly can be part of that citizens committee. However, you know, the rec board itself is made up of citizens and they organize themselves so that you've got, you know, a rec board president. Now, Mr. Yanuzzi is going to be the council liaison, so certainly Mr. Yanuzzi is the one that I'm going to turn to when I'm asking, okay, what is happening with recreation? He's gonna be the gentleman that is the liaison.
now, I will say that I reached out to the president of the recreation board and asked for some kind of description of what they plan to do for the next year and what we can do to financially budget for their needs, and I've got no response yet from the rec board.
I'm pretty sure she did respond and say once after everybody's sworn in that she will.
Once she knew who was
Once
in
you know
charge
what we
of
can
the
do,
committee.
she just got put on.
She didn't respond to me that way.
Alright, so she just got put on. So
Okay,
you
she
have to
told me
figure
that
all
they were having a meeting in
She did
December.
respond.
and she would
And
get
I
back
think
to me.
people were a little bit leery, Mr. Wilson, because.
We just wanted to
you
know who
kinda
our
acted
liaison was
prematurely,
before
like
we-
you're all
Yeah.
in charge up here. So, you know, people are a little bit leery of.
People like,
We just wanted to know who our liaison was.
Well, I'll
Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Yanuzzi will be your liaison, and
And
Mr.
now we will-
Yanuzzi's defense, Mr. Yanuzzi found out about an hour ago.
That's
that
fine,
he's
that's
not-
No, I just wanna know,
fine, that's fine,
Right.
no.
For the parade and all that, we have to go through him, I have to contact him now.
Yes, Ms. Buckins, I did receive your email about the fireworks, and Mr. Yanuzzi, that'll be something that I pass on to you. Unfortunately, I just got my borough email address working again late this afternoon, and, you know, certainly, I believe you're up and running as well. So I'll forward that information to you.
everyone's borough email address should be up and running as of now. Is there anyone on council whose borough email address is not running? So if you have any questions, you can go to the website, such as it is at the moment, and they have email addresses for each one of your members of council. You can email them and they are responsible for responding to you via email.
Thanks,
email them up to.
Council, I have, I believe, a motion on the table to adjourn.
I don't think anybody actually made one.
I said so ordered.
Okay.
I said,
Okay,
when you
all
made
right,
the
so
motion,
I
said
have
ordered.
Councilwoman Reeves. Do I have a second? All in favor, please say aye. Aye, meeting adjourned.